Welcome to another episode of Fill in the Blank podcast. I'm here with Gabe Jarman.
What's up?
Gabe, do you know what we're talking about today?
We are talking about the wondrous and mysterious 8 ball.
Yes, the omniscient being that we ask all our questions to.
Will I ever get married?
I was going to say that. Will
Answer
I ever get
unsure.
married? Ask again later. It's like, I don't want to ask again later.
It's the equivalent of SpongeBob's magic conch.
You know, whatever tells you what to do. Would you live your life by a magic 8 ball?
Fuck no.
That would be fun for a day.
Oh, what? Just like, should I have eggs for breakfast?
Should I leave the house?
Answer unsure.
No. And then you just lay back in bed.
Then you're just in bed all day.
So, hey, guess what? Maybe the world would have like an apocalypse and you would have stayed inside. That magic 8 ball would have saved your life. I bet then you'd
praise the ball.
You'd praise the magic 8 ball. It actually is a good series for a movie. I'm copywriting it. Nobody take it. So the magic 8 ball is a toy used for fortune telling or seeking advice. Developed in the 1950s and manufactured by Mattel, the user asks a question to the large plastic ball, then turns it over to reveal a written answer, which appears on the surface of the toy. I always wanted to know what's that juice in the ball?
I just think it's like some blue liquid.
It is alcohol and blue dye.
Yeah, there you go.
So we
Like
probably
rubbing alcohol.
shouldn't drink it.
No.
I wonder if there's a warning on it.
Probably on like the
Magic 8 ball, should I drink you?
Maybe someday.
Ask again. Imagine you just do it like 100 times. Maybe you get the secret answer. Well, the origin of the 8 ball was used as a fortune-telling device in the 1940s by the Three Stooges short, You Nasty Spy, and called a magic ball. While Magic 8 ball did not exist in its current form until 1950, the functional component was invented by Albert C. Carter, inspired by a spirit writing device used by his mother. Mary, a Cincinnati clairvoyant, when Carter approached store owner Max Levinson about stocking the device, Levinson called in his brother-in-law Abe Bookman, a graduate of Ohio Mechanics Institute. In 1944, Carter filed for a patent for the cylindrical device, assigning it in 1946 to Brookman Levinson and another partner in what came to be Aleb Crafts Incorporated, also known as Albert and Abe. Aleb marketed and sold the cylinder as the Psycho Slate. Carter died sometime before the patent was granted in 1948, and Bookman made improvements to the Psycho Slate, and in 1948 it was encased in an iridescent crystal ball. Though unsuccessful, the revamped product caught the attention of Chicago's Brunworks Billiards. In 1950, they commissioned Aleb Crafts to make a version in the form of a traditional black and white 8 ball. So, do you know what a clairvoyant is?
They're the ones that speak to the dead, right? Or is that's a medium?
Well, a clairvoyant is like being able to see future events.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's
yeah.
the whole idea of fortune telling. A magic 8 ball telling you. How many times have you spent like $50 on that little fortune gypsy thing on the boardwalk, the machine that tells you your fortune?
Once.
You did it once?
I've only done it once. My dad was like, "Hey, you want to do that?" Sure. And then it told me I was gonna like.
So I'm the idiot.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, hey, Forrest Gump or Tom Hanks, whatever, had that whole movie where he wished upon a fortune-telling machine or a wish granter machine, and the thing turned him back into a freaking adult, or turned him into an adult or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know that movie.
That was a very good movie. Well, let's talk about the design of this magical device. The Magic 8 ball is a hollow plastic sphere resembling an oversized black and white 8 ball. Inside a cylindrical reservoir contains a white plastic iosecretion floating in alcohol dyed dark blue. Each of the die's 20 faces has an affirmative, negative, or non-committal statement printed in raised letters. These messages are read through a window on the ball's bottom. It's a 20-sided dice.
I thought it was like a fucking triangle.
That's what I thought. I only remember getting 3 answers.
Yes, no,
or ask again later. I'm trying to get the answer of a taco, and it does not have. There's no way it has 20. Well, apparently it does have 20. Well, the use of the ball is beheld and the window initially facing down. After asking the ball a yes or no question, the user then turns the ball so that the floats to the top and one face presses against the window. The raised letters displace the blue liquid to reveal the message as white letters on a blue background. Although most users shake the ball before turning it upright, the instructions warn against doing so to avoid white bubbles, which interfere with the performance of the ball itself. I actually did not know that.
Yeah, I shook the fuck out of the ball.
So, what are some possible answers you might receive from the Magic 8 Ball? One is, it is certain. It is decidedly so. Without a doubt. Yes, definitely. You may rely on it. As I see it, yes. Most likely. Outlook good. Yes. Signs point to yes. Reply hazy. Try again. Ask again later. Better not tell you now. Cannot predict now.
I think I'd shit myself if I asked the ball a question. It says, I can't answer that now.
Am I going to die in 7 days? Better not tell you now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, when are you going to tell me? In 7 days.
Ask again later.
And then we got, don't count on it. My reply is no. My sources say no. And outlook not so good. And then very doubtful. So 5 are non-committal, 5 are negative, and 10 of the possible answers are affirmative. That seems like it's messing with fate a little bit because you have more yes outcomes than no outcomes. So what are some weird questions you might actually ask the Magic 8 Ball?
Well, you're supposed to ask like yes or no questions, so I guess you could ask does.
What are the winning Powerball numbers? And the things like,
No.
this is not how the game is played.
This isn't how this works. You just ask yes or no questions. So like you can ask like stupid questions like, should I wear red today? Or like, does little Susie down the street have a crush on me?
So the Magic 8 Ball, someone actually took it and changed the little triangle on the inside and made their own custom one. One answer that was given was yes, but do it drunk as fuck. 2, my sources say no, but they also said Hillary would win. Don't swipe right, it's your cousin. How the hell is Applebee's still in business? Crazy, right? Do what Jesus would do, die at the age of 33. Who gives a fuck about Szechuan sauce? Do swipe right, it's your hot cousin. Stop asking if Tom Cruise is gay and find out yourself. Yes, Will is the guy and Grace is the girl. Trump uses me when deciding to go to war. That is a wonderful 8 Ball. Whoever did that are just amazing. So I went on to Reddit actually and looked up some Magic 8 Ball questions. So Magic 8 Ball, how do I give someone the Heimlich? Shrugs at obviously choking person. Ask again later. Should I find a better source of advice? No. Magic 8 Ball, are you just giving me answers randomly? No. Are you sure, 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 you sure? Shakes vigorously. Yes. Thinking. Are you sure, are you sure, are you sure, are you sure? Is murdering that waitress morally acceptable? The 8 Ball did not answer. Should I whip it out in front of that old bald guy? That is a great one to know if you want to do something. Now we could chalk up the Magic 8 Ball to moral decisions.
Oh no.
Imagine living your life by a freaking Magic 8 Ball that's going to control.
The magic conch.
It might be better probably to live your life by, a
Yeah,
better...
but you're also basing your life based off fucking 20 answers.
That's like all your outcomes are technically chosen for you.
Yeah.
So knowing that your life is technically not in your own hands, it's controlled by a Magic 8 Ball that's developed
controlled by a plastic ball with blue alcohol in it.
I wonder how many people have drank that blue alcohol. Just trying to get drunk. I mean, we know people that drink Listerine.
That's fair.
Someone just cracking that open and then...
Crap, it wouldn't.
Why is your mouth blue?
Oh, they were actually like saying that. I was like, is it? So someone put blue dye in the Diet Coke.
So what's your idea behind Magic 8 Ball? Would you want to live your life by it? Or do you feel like that's just the dumbest thing in the world?
I think that's pretty dumb. I think I might do it for like a day just to see what would happen. And like if I'm not working, and like do I want to go
Maybe you might
out?
have the best day ever.
Honestly, I think it just depends on the experience.
Think about
I
SpongeBob
just
with the
think-
magic conch.
Yeah,
Think
I
about SpongeBob with the magic conch.
Yeah, that's also.
How do we do to get out of this forest before we starve to death? Stand around and do nothing. And the next thing you know, food drops in front of them, and then someone comes and saves them, and all this stuff happens to them. They get a tent built for them out of this stuff. Like all these consequent events. Maybe if you just morally accept the reasonable answer, you might find a way to live your life in a more positive environment and feeling like you might try and control it. Do you believe that if something was controlling our actions for us, we might have a better life or understanding of what it must be?
Not necessarily.
I'm taking you deep down the path of fortune telling with the Magic 8 Ball.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the whole idea if you want to know your future or not. And I personally do not think I would. Like, I wouldn't want to know how I die. I wouldn't want to know when I die.
Yeah, I mean, if I wrote on a card, the exact date of your death, when you were going to die, to the minute, to the everything, you wouldn't want to know. You would want to stay away from that as much as possible.
Yeah,
At least
'cause
I
then-
wouldn't,
because
because
then-
then that you would be looming on that. You'd be waiting for that day. But some people might live their life like, if I know, then I can live my life all the way up to those moments. But what happens if I tell you, as soon as you flip that card, it's like, ask again later, and then you're just like, I might not be alive later, and the next thing you know, you go into the fetal position and try and remember where you left your car keys. It's a crazy scenario, and like I said, this fill in the blank doesn't have a whole bunch. It might be straight fact, but it's really skeptical, because how long have someone's always been trying to tell the future? How many times has someone have asked, I wish I could see into the future, I wish I could time travel, I wish I knew what I knew now back then. Winning the Powerball. I would love to see the Powerball numbers ahead of me, and I don't think a Magic 8 Ball is going to determine that, but it's hard to believe that someone's not. Should I pick 6? Maybe. It's like, okay, that's a reasonable answer.
We'll come back to that one.
Ask again later. The Powerball's in 10 minutes. I can't ask again later. Well, it raises the question of, how do you wish to live your life? Do you wish to live your life? This seems like a more fun and edgy way if you choose to live it by a Magic 8 Ball. I think I was a kid. I think everyone owned a Magic 8 Ball at one point. Had something where you shook it a couple times and next thing you know it broke, or you tried to eat the blue dye like me. So anybody that wants to look up this episode of Fill in the Blank, or look up what a Magic 8 Ball is, and if you don't already know, maybe you hit yourself in the head with a Magic 8 Ball and forgot. But it's definitely a fun little game. It's more like a Ouija board, I think, too.
Yeah,
You're
I was
asking
thinking
another
like a Ouija
spirit
board.
force.
Well, an 8 ball in and of itself, I don't think could be considered like spiritually related, because it is just, it's a 20-sided die that just spins around in.
I ask the Magic 8 Ball God all the time for my answers, so maybe
the little goblin that hangs out inside the thing.
that just rolls a little dice.
But then if you wanted to talk about like a Ouija board being similar, but you also have to take into account whether you actually believe in
An
spirit,
outside force or
an outside force, and also that your friends aren't fucking with you.
Well, also you gotta believe with the Magic 8 Ball, the idea of fortune telling. Is it possible that something can predict the future? But people are willing to spend money or do anything possible just to try and do that, which makes this a good consumer product. So overall, I think the Magic 8 Ball is pretty successful in its development, because it plays a lot in movies and most stoner shows, like a bobblehead does. Like, the whole idea that we're kind of looking for something to give us the answer if we can't find it ourselves. So anybody that wants to look up this episode of Fill in the Blank, please do, or ask the Magic 8 Ball, and it'll probably tell you the same thing. Yes, listen to the podcast. It's amazing. My insights are amazing. Much like the Magic 8 Ball, I have all the answers and questions, and unfolding it just like God inside of a fortune cookie.